Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wave Next. This is this is a big day for us here at Elgato and for our friends over in Munich and everybody who's been involved in working on this project for a long time now. This is a big day for us. We're really excited to share everything Wave Next with you today. Phil, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I've been up quite long at this point to make sure that we get all this incredible content out to you guys. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about, and there are a lot of products. And well, hey, if you haven't been to YouTube yet, you definitely should check out all of the incredible YouTube videos we have. But do that after the live stream, not right now. For now, we're going to chat here for a little bit. Um, so, what are we doing today, Brito?
So first, welcome guys. We're going to be streaming over the next 2 weeks to talk about everything Wave Next, from the hardware to the software to the foundations of this launch in general. Like, what is Wave Next? Why are we making this huge collection of audio products the way that we have? Why have we curated it this way? We're also going to be talking with some partners next week. So we'll be speaking with Lewitt. We'll be speaking with another special guest next week as well. And throughout all of that time, the main thing that we want to give to you is answers. We want it to be super clear what these products can do for you, how they can fit into your setup. And it's quite the lineup. So shall we kind of run through that real quick?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do that. We'll start
What do you
with
Where do you want to start?
we'll start here with I think
Oh, this is
Wave 3 Mark II here. So this is Wave 3 Mark II, the next generation USB condenser microphone. It looks quite similar to the original Wave 3, but of course, it's on the inside what counts, and that's what. Well, there's quite a big change with the Wave 3 Mark II here that we're going to talk about today. But yeah, so we've got Wave 3 Mark II. I'll just leave that here. We have Wave XLR Mark II. So this is
yeah.
for your XLR microphone. Again, looks familiar, but it's got a lot of tricks up its sleeve to get you sounding broadcast ready right out of the box. Then we have the new kid on the block. This is Wave XLR Pro. Dual XLR inputs, dual USB, dual headphone. This thing, if the Wave lineup, if the Wave XLR Mark II and the Wave 3 are all about getting you broadcast ready quickly and making that easy, Wave XLR Pro is about expanding what you can do with your setup. We're going to be talking about this as well. Not so much today. I think that's actually we're saving that for Thursday, but we will definitely be covering it as well. And then finally, these devices all fit in about one hand, but we've got, of course, one more, and
I'm gonna
that
have to bring the like
is
a back beep beep beep, like bring a
yeah.
truck in for this one.
This is Stream Deck Plus XL. This is the largest Stream Deck that we've ever made with 36 keys, 6 dials. This thing is simply a monster,
Behemoth.
a behemoth.
That's the only word I have.
And when we were thinking about like even how do we announce this product, and my pitch anyways was just a bigger Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's the tweet, right? That's that's the tweet. No, but this thing is incredible. And of course, when you start thinking about Wave XLR Pro and all of those inputs, all those outputs, the mixing, Stream Deck Plus XL is the perfect companion there. So this is the entire Wave Next
This is the hardware lineup.
hardware lineup.
We're not even done yet.
Of course, we have one more piece to talk about, and that is the software, which is Wavelink 3.0, which is now out of beta. And here's something that's really cool. Actually, Brito, why don't you tell chat what's really cool about Wavelink 3.0? Like Do they even need to listen to us talk about it, or could they just get it themselves right now?
Free for everybody. You can now use Wavelink in your setup, even if you don't have Elgato hardware. It's no longer unlockable. It is now just free and available. You can bring your own mic, any mic, multiple mics, which is honestly the one thing I'm most excited about for the Wavelink 3.0. Multiple mics, create, create your mix.
Yep.
Yeah, and a new routing table, which we'll be going into. We'll have a Wavelink specific stream on Friday. So we're going to go super deep into all these different use cases, how you can route audio in your setup. But yes, free. Thank you, Dark Freak. Exactly. Free. Can you play Skyrim on it? You can route Skyrim through it if that helps. But yeah, this is really, really exciting. This launch is a little personal for me because my first launch at Elgato was Wave 3 and Wavelink. So seeing it now 6 years later, the software has grown and changed so much. Even my Wave 3 has just leveled up, exponentially since it launched. So having Wave 3 Mark II here with, all of the tricks under its hood with, built-in Wave FX, DSP running on board, and even VST insert, it's amazing how far it's come, and I'm so excited to dive into this with you guys. I hope you guys feel the excitement that we do. It's really like I truly can't emphasize enough how special this is for our team to be able to have not only release these products for you guys, but to see just how much has changed in the past couple years. We had something similar to this with Stream Deck, when we launched like Stream Deck Plus, Pedal, where, we saw where Stream Deck started, the software. If you look back at how it was all the way back in 2017, it's so bare bones compared to today. But even then, it was so powerful. And today, it's so much more powerful. So this is just a really exciting moment for Elgato, for audio. And thank you guys for being here, for sharing your excitement. And we're really looking forward to the next 2 weeks of talking about this with you on stream. Yeah.
A quick raise of hands for anyone in chat. Who watched the premiere this morning? Who was there live to watch the premiere? If you were, raise your hand. If you're lying, we know that. So, just who was there, who wasn't. I'm seeing lots of me's, lots of hands raised. That's awesome. Yeah, I did see quite a few of you. That premiere, yeah, that video was quite the labor of love. In fact, this entire lineup is and was from the entire team.
Yeah.
It's taken us many years to get here. Many, many people were involved to make this happen, to bring this vision to life of what creator audio should be. And we're super
Yeah.
excited to talk about it. So
Something I also want to specifically just right off the bat talk about is just the way that these combo, right? So I want to break this down real quick. And let's also, while we're doing this, talk about availability. In the US, everything except for Wave XLR Pro is available. Wave 3 Mark II has some extended shipping time. So it might be about 2 or 3 weeks to deliver, but I believe you can place that order already. This is also true actually for Europe. All of them except for Wave XLR Pro are available. Now, special note, if you are looking forward to Wave XLR Pro, you're going to want to head over to our website and sign up to be notified. There will be an exclusive window where if you had signed up, you will be able to purchase in advance. And you're going to want to sign up for that. So Wave XLR Pro will be available for pre-order for purchase in Q2. So you're going to want to sign up for that notification. Check your emails. Stay tuned. If you sign up, you will get an email to get that exclusive, order window. And if you don't sign up, then if it sells out during that window, you might have to wait a little bit longer. I can't tell you early or late, but I can say Q2. I'm limited to that, but yeah, definitely sign up and you'll get notified.
for those who don't know, what does Q2 mean, right? Q2 it's kind of an abstract thing, like the second quarter of the year. So that is, even I have to still do the math in my head. January, February, March,
It's April,
the first.
April, May, June.
April, May, June is that time frame for the Wave XLR Pro. But that doesn't mean the information isn't out there. We have the website live. We have a first look video as well on YouTube. And this Thursday, we have a specific live stream all about Wave XLR Pro.
Thursday, yep.
Yeah, I think that's on Thursday, right?
Thursday.
So everything that you're going to want to know, we'll get you the not only the answers, but
Yep.
yeah, pretty much everything.
Also, lots of questions in chat. Just want to let you guys know we're just gonna intro real quick and then we'll dive into the questions. Exclamation point Q in chat to ask those questions. It's just gonna help us sort this out because we know there's 4 hardware products on this table right now that are brand new for you guys, and there's lots of features in them that are new for you guys, and totally, revamped software. So I understand you got a lot you want to learn. So make sure to ask exclamation point Q in the beginning of your message, so that it's super easy for us to filter that out.
So how would that
Yeah.
work? So you type exclamation point Q space and then your question.
Yes.
So
So exclamation point Q space. How many likes for a free Stream Deck Plus XL?
that I isn't that
Okay.
something they would ask you?
True.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk real quick about this combo. Can we talk about this combo just super briefly? Because this is insane control that you can unlock here with Wave XLR Pro and Stream Deck Plus XL. This is the dream duo right here. So if you're looking to have a dual PC setup, if you're looking for two XLR inputs, this is not only your whole everything you need. I
It's
mean, I don't
everything,
know.
yeah.
It's everything you need for that, but all the control is right here on Stream Deck Plus XL. And with if you're using Wavelink, that new Wavelink 3.0 plugin that also launched today is beautiful, and I'm super excited to show that off as well. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that. That this is the combo to keep an eye on. So, yeah.
I also think what would be cool is to mention is, well, first of all, we're using as I think we always do, we use our own gear here. So we're using Wave DXs, and we're using, of course, Mic Arm Pros. And actually, the Wave DXs are going into a Wave XLR Pro. So both of our microphones are going into Wave XLR Pro. It's going through WaveFX processing. We've got some DSP effects on. I'm not actually sure if we have any VSTs on. I don't think so. So you're hearing pretty much just only WaveFX processing at the moment. And we're using it. We're using it here. So what you hear is also what you could have with Wave XLR Pro when you get it sometime in Q2. Lots to talk about. I definitely also think that we should cover Wavelink 3.0. And actually, we've already been getting a lot of questions about how you go from, if you want to go from Wavelink 2.0 to Wavelink 3.0. So I think maybe we can answer
Yeah.
that question and
Mhm.
actually show that when we have our special guest on today, Julian. But is there anything else we want to cover kind of at the front here?
Yeah, so we will be doing a giveaway today. Today's giveaway will be for a Wave 3 Mark II. So maybe if you already have a Wave 3 and you're looking forward to all these new features in Wave 3 Mark II, or maybe you're just looking for a really awesome new USB microphone for your setup, stay tuned for that giveaway. It'll happen at some point during the stream, so you'll need to stay tuned. And when it does happen, you'll see, we'll talk about it and you'll see the commands come up in chat. Also, a note, this is only on Twitch, so if you would like to join this giveaway, make sure to head over to Twitch to enter that. Yeah, that's my other note. I guess at
Okay.
this point, any other main things, because there's so many questions. Is there anything that you want to share right now that may answer some of those questions immediately?
No, I mean, I just kind of want to get into it. And I think probably chat
Okay.
as well wants to just get
So
into it.
in that case, today's topic is going to be WaveFX. So essentially what WaveFX is, it's in all of our new audio hardware. So these guys right here, it's a chip built into the device that essentially lets you run your DSP effects directly on the device. So that means you can monitor it with essentially no latency. This is something we've definitely been asked for, and I'm super excited to introduce that now with these new products. Wanna
It's
go
a
into the
combination. Yeah,
infrastructure?
it powers the entire Wave Next lineup, all of the hardware products. And it's really a combination of three technologies that come together to form this WaveFX processing. And we're going to look at all of those today. The first one is ClipGuard 2.0. We originally introduced ClipGuard in our Wave 3 and Wave 1 microphones back in 2020. And that, prevented clipping just basically in almost every scenario that you could kind of practically think of. But we've actually gone a step further here with ClipGuard 2.0. And even ClipGuard 2.0 itself is now a three-stage process where essentially each stage ensures that clipping just simply can't occur. The next part is, of course, the on-device DSP effect. So DSP is digital signal processor. These are going to be your low-cut filter, your expander, voice tune, compressor, and equalizer. So we'll take a look at those as well. All of those enhance your sound, everything from reducing kind of background noise and stuff like that to actually just giving you more presence, warmth, and depth through a single slider, which is incredibly powerful. And then onto an EQ to kind of shape the final tone of your voice. And then the third part of wave effects processing is VST insert. And this one even took me a second to understand because it's just so cool. And what's actually really interesting about it is it's of all of these, it's the simplest to use. It's technically, I think, one of the most intricate, but it's actually the simplest to use because what it does is essentially it lets you use VST audio effects. So typically, what you have to, add your mic in a software. In the software, you add VSTs or basic audio effects, and then you take a virtual mix and you send that out somewhere, right? Like this whole kind of you have to think about like, okay, what goes where? This solves all of that. So there's no more virtual routing. You simply add your effect. Your effect is basically in your microphone signal at that point, and then you can select that in your apps, and that also comes with the benefit of lower latency. So Wave Effects really builds the core of these devices, and yeah, we'll get into diagramming and talking all about these different stages here. There's also other cool features like the auto gain wizard. So if you've ever struggled with setting up gain on your device, or if you just got your microphone, you want it to just work straight away, then the auto gain wizard basically will do that work for you. Typically you plug in a mic or you take an audio interface and you have to tweak those levels. And gain is like the number one most important thing next to mic positioning. If
Yep.
the mic is too far away, okay, you can't fix that. But I think we also have solved that problem with our mic arms. And so then the next part of that was the gain. Once you have your mic in the right position, how do you set it up to sound really, really good right at the start? If your gain is too high, you're going to get too much noise. If your gain is too low, you're too quiet. The auto gain wizard on these devices will actually just do it for you. And it's kind of miraculous because I was doing some testing myself. Obviously, I need to understand how this stuff works. I was doing some
Yeah,
testing,
yeah, yeah.
and it
That's why you
almost
needed to bring it home. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. The one,
Definitely.
or I
Mhm.
think the one of two early versions, early prototypes that we had. Um, but it basically always came within 1 or 2 decibels of where I personally set my own gain, which kind of blew me away because I was like, typically you're like, what, come on, automation, how good can that be? But no, this is really, really good stuff. Um, there's improved headphone outputs on all of these devices as well. So, if you are using these, as your just primary listening output, then it will be in the case of Wave XLR Mark II and Wave XLR Pro and the XLR dock. It'll be louder. In the case of Wave 3 Mark II, it'll just sound better. And of course, then you get the benefit of the zero latency monitoring thanks to DSP. So, yeah, as you can see,
It's a lot.
I've
Yeah.
spent a lot of time with these devices. I could go on and on and on, but
Yeah.
you just want to see me
All right.
yap? Probably not. I think we do
I
have
think
some
that's
other
why
stuff
they're all
to,
here.
yeah.
All right. So that being said, reminder, please be using exclamation point Q. I see you got lots of questions. They'll start answering that in just a moment here. But ask your questions with exclamation point Q. Stay tuned for that Wave 3 Mark II giveaway. And if we can bring up the calendar real quick,
Oh yeah, we should talk
that
about that.
way
Yeah.
we can talk about exactly what the next 2 weeks looks like. So tomorrow we'll be deep diving into the hardware itself. But today we start with kind of an intro to Wave Next, as well as a dive into Wave Effects and how that works on the new audio hardware. And then a deep dive into Wave XLR Pro and Stream Deck Plus XL on Thursday. And then Wavelink software on Friday. Then on Monday, we have our first region stream. So Spanish, our awesome community team over there will be streaming on Monday. Then we'll be talking a little bit about, where Wave started, where it's at now, how that's changed throughout the years, and kind of what that means for the future as well. Then on Tuesday, we'll be having our French community team streaming, as well as a tech spotlight talking with Lewitt. And then on Wednesday, can we say who that is yet? No, can we say who that is yet?
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll be speaking with a maker on Marketplace that you guys may be familiar with, and they're going to be introducing some really exciting stuff into Marketplace, which launches next week. So we're not done yet, chat. Then on Thursday, we'll be having our German stream, our Portuguese stream, as well as talking about Stream Deck Plus XL, specifically how it relates to controlling your audio, kind of going deeper into that. And then we'll have a stream from our team over in Japan on Friday. And that will wrap up our 2 weeks of streams related to Wave Next.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, we're going to be live every single day, basically this week and next week.
Yep.
And across either different time zones and different topics, and it's just going to be incredible. So lots of opportunities to get your questions in, and if there's a specific one that
Which
you want
they
to,
are.
yeah,
Rest assured, they are right now.
If
You're
there's
gonna have fun with Julian.
Oh yeah,
you gotta just go do. But that being said, Julian will be joining us here in just a moment to talk all things Wave Next and specifically Wave FX processor. But first, let's watch a community video from Ready Set Ben where he's gonna be talking about how have these updates and new products and whatnot impacted his setup and how let's get into the video.
If I could tell creators one thing about why Wave Next matters for their audio, it would be this. Creator audio is finally becoming something that helps you create instead of something that you have to fight. For the longest time, getting good audio felt quite complicated. You either needed extra hardware, confusing software, or hours of watching tutorials just to sound professional. And honestly, most creators, including myself, don't want to be audio engineers. We just want to press record and go live with our voices sounding clear, balanced, and consistent. Wave Next, it represents a shift away from technical barriers and towards more creative freedom. When your audio works effortlessly, you stop thinking about settings and start focusing on what actually matters, your content, your personality, and your connection with your audience. For me personally, that clicked when I started using the Elgato ecosystem in my setup. The biggest change wasn't just microphone quality, it was control. The feature I rely on in every single session is audio routing inside Wavelink, and it sounds simple, but it completely changes how you work as a creator. Before that, I constantly ran into the same problems. My game audio would be too loud for stream, but fine for me, and Discord would overpower everything, alerts would suddenly spike, and fixing audio midstream always felt stressful because changing one thing affected everything else. With Wavelink, every audio source gets its own channel. My mic, game, music, chat, browser audio, all separated and easy to manage, and I can adjust what I hear independently from what my audience hears, which is huge during live content. It basically turns your setup into a mixing desk that actually makes sense visually. After a while, it becomes muscle memory, and I open Wavelink, check levels, and I already know things are going to work. That consistency is what matters most. Audio stops being unpredictable. That idea really showed itself when I set up the Wave 3 Mark II. From unboxing to broadcast-ready sound, the whole process took about 5 minutes. I mounted it, plugged in the USB, connected my headphones directly to the mic, installed Wavelink, and that was basically it. No complicated signal chain, no interference setup, no troubleshooting spiral. Inside the software, I assigned my apps to their channels, balanced levels visually, and immediately had clean professional audio, and it didn't feel like configuring audio gear, it felt like setting preferences in video games. I think that experience explains why Wave Next matters. It's not just about new features or new hardware, it's about continuing the idea that creators shouldn't need deep technical knowledge to sound amazing. Audio should adapt to creators, not the other way around. Because when your sound is reliable, when your setup feels intuitive, and when you trust your tools every time you go live, you gain confidence, and confidence changes how you create. You talk more naturally, you focus more on storytelling, you experiment more, you show up consistently. So to me, Wave Next matters because it represents the next step in creator audio becoming more accessible, powerful, and genuinely creator first. It removes friction, reduces stress, and lets creators spend less time managing audio and more time creating the moments that people actually show up for.
All right. Julian, can you hear me? Are we coming through?
I can.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, that was a fantastic video.
But we do need to quickly change audio coming through OBS Ninja, not the stream. So, director, please fix.
Looks like we have a minor technical difficulty. Give it just 1 second. All right, let's see. Julian, can you hear me now? Is it coming through loud and clear?
As they fix it.
It looks like he cannot hear me.